Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for race number 4 of the NNSCRA Gaming Indycar Series, our second speedway stop, I should say, of the season, as we are under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway for 51 laps of racing. Last week at Long Beach, Alexander Rowe became the third different winner this season, picking up his first win of the year, and he'll line up on the pole position for tonight's race, trying to become the first repeat winner this season. Let's give you your starting grid here coming into tonight's race from Texas. He'll start the race alongside of the 28 of Matt Haas. Row 2 going to be comprised of Nathan Ormond and Jake Rogers. Zach Flickinger and Pichu London there in row 3. London coming into a big points battle. We'll get to that in a moment. Eli Bright on the inside of Chris Dodd, who comes in as the new points leader. They roll off in row number 4, and row number 5 is going to be Jay Jefferson and Cole Baker. Noah Kars, our winner from St. Petersburg, lines up alongside of Matthew Rodriguez. Our winner from Phoenix, our last speedway stop, Jacob Rose, alongside of Mason Wood. Then it's Johnny Gardner alongside of Tripentacchio Vernio. Charles Jackson suffered a last place finish last week at Long Beach. Jonathan Zorlin, a last place finish 2 weeks ago at Phoenix. Then you've got Austin LaPlante and Kev Shearer. Austin LaPlante and Carson Gum. And the final row is Kev Shearer and Jordan Lopez. So what about this points battle coming into this race? Well, the points are really, really close. There's no doubt about that, because Chris Dodd is the new points leader by 1 point over a two-way tie for the second position, Pichu London and Jacob Rose, each 1 point out of the top position. Eli Bright is now fourth in the points, or technically third if you count that tie for second, 3 points back, and Cole Baker is still fifth in the point standings. He is 4 points out of the top position, but it's even closer if you go further back. Noah Kars has dropped to 6th in points, but he's only 7 points out still. And then there's a tie for the 7th position. 9 points back each are Carson Gum and Matt Haas. And 9th in the points is Alexander Rowe, our winner last week. He's now only 10 points back. So there's only 10 points separating the top 9 in the point standings coming into this race. That is huge. And with us being at a speedway track tonight, we saw what Phoenix did. We can really see a big point shake-up here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. But without further ado, we're going down track side to get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
One of our longer races this season, 51 laps of racing here tonight at Texas. So we'll see what these drivers are going to be able to do in that 51 lap period. Looks like everybody good to go here for the start of this race. We've had some issues in a couple of races with drivers not being able to make it to the green flag. We had Johnny Gardner with an issue a couple of weeks ago at St. Petersburg, and then we had Tripentacchio Vernio and Charles Jackson with problems at the start in last week's race at Long Beach. But it looks like all 22 cars will come to take the green flag here tonight at Texas. The pace car will make the left-hand turn to pit road. Alexander Rowe and Matt Haas will get us underway. And tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, let's roll. Already 3 wide attempt there. Pichu London on the bottom, puts Rogers in the middle. Matt Haas up to the top side. A lot more spacious 3 wide than what we saw a couple of weeks ago at Phoenix, that's for sure. And London going to go for the race lead. He wants to lead lap number 1. Eli Bright right in his tire tracks, and Bright might take a look to the inside, but I don't think he'll get there in time. London will lead the first lap, but now Eli Bright to the bottom for the top position. He's got, I think that's Chris Dodd right behind him. Can't tell if that's him or Baker. No, that's Baker actually in the 8. In the second position. Ooh, little contact there in the wall for both Cole Baker and Noah Kars, and now Noah Kars stuck on the high line. Now he's falling back from 3rd. Jacob Rose moves up to the 3rd spot, and here's Gardner into 4th. Now he wants to get into the podium spot. He'll go to the inside of Jacob Rose. Good racing early on here to start this thing off. Eli Bright to the top of the board, and they're 3 wide back there for 4th place. That's Mason Wood sticking his Penske teammate Noah Kars in the middle 3 wide. Jacob Rose was on the top side of that battle. They settle it now back out to double wide formation. Meanwhile, up front, Noah Cars begins the charge back up towards the front as his teammate Johnny Gardner goes for the race lead, and he will take it away from Eli Bright. Now Penske goes 1-2 as Cars will complete the pass and move into the second position. Johnny Gardner dead last in the point stands coming into this race. 3 races, no top 10s. Out in front with teammate Noah Cars as his wingman in second, but Cars now wants the race lead. He's going to jump to the inside line. Here comes Cole Baker to the inside of Eli Bright for third. Jacob Rose there in fifth, and he's got Matt Haas right behind him, maybe hounding him for that fifth position. Now Rose will duck low as now Noah Cars leads the inside line. He'll go to the lead. Battle on for second between Cole Baker and Johnny Gardner. Wide further back there, about mid-pack. That was Chris Dodd, the points leader in that group, along with Jonathan Zorlin and Pichu London, and they very quickly settled that out to a single file formation down the back straightaway. Chris Dodd trying to get up into the top 10 this time by. I think he scored around the 14th position just now. Behind Carson Gum in the 77, Jordan Lopez in the 14 just up ahead. Battling here mid-pack, but just as good battling up at the front of the field. New race leader is going to be Noah Cars in the 4. Battle for second is on. Give it to Jacob Rose. He'll move into second place with Matt Haas into third. So the yellow cars are currently up in first, second, and third place. But here comes the gray cars being led by Eli Bright in that 26. Into the back there of Matt Haas as they work their way by Jacob Rose for second and third. Cole Baker back on the charge. He's going to look for fourth place on the inside of the 5 of Jacob Rose. Talked about last week Charles Jackson suffering a dead last finish. He finished the race, but he was a lap down due to early issues at the drop of the green flag. So he was the only car off the lead lap and thus finished 22nd place with no other drivers finished out of the race. Jackson's up here inside the top 10 right now, battling with Carson Gum. That's for the 8th position. 3 wide for the second spot. Jacob Rose to the inside of Eli Bright. Matt Haas backing out of that situation, and Johnny Gardner now up in this mix as well with Cole Baker. That's going to bring in more company. Mason Wood in this group. Jordan Lopez now joins the fray. Things getting a little congested from about the second position on back, making for some good racing all the way through the middle of the field. And now Gardner, who teammate Noah Carr stepped out on to go to the race lead. Now he's got a chance for revenge here. Going to try and reel in that number 4 car and try and take the top position back. Cole Baker hanging tough there in third. Baker's not really falling outside the top 5 this entire race. Got a very strong piece. And Gardner says, hey, a little bit of payback here. You took the lead from me, I'll take the lead from you. The inside of his teammate Noah Cars, and very easily will pull to the top position, coming off of turn number 4. Talked about 3 races so far this season, 3 different race winners. Well, Alexander Moe started on the pole, and 2 former winners are up here inside the podium spot. Noah Cars, our winner from St. Petersburg. Following week, Phoenix race winner Jacob Rose in third. So the odds right now of us having a 2-time winner this season very good with where the 4 and the 5 are currently situated. As Cars will now go to the inside of Johnny Gardner. He'll take the position back, and they've got another teammate up here in just a moment. That is Jonathan Zorlin in the 3. Zorlin coming to this race 20th in the point stands. Really could use a good run tonight. And now he's going to go for the 3rd spot off his teammate Johnny Gardner. He may have his sights set for 2nd place off Jacob Rose. Nope, Rose going to hold the bottom. He'll keep 2nd place. Zorlin now will move into 3rd, and Cole Baker will follow him into the 4th position. Let's follow where our points leader Chris Dodd is now. There he is. He's making forward progress. He's up inside the top 10. Last time by, he was scored in the 9th position, and he is following in the tire tracks of Carson Gum, trying to get himself up here to the front of the field. Now getting by Carson Gum, so move Chris Dodd up to the 8th position. Jonathan Zorlin in 6th would be the next car for Chris Dodd to tangle with. Battle is on for the lead. Jacob Rose to the inside of the 4 of Noah Cars. Cole Baker right there, and now Matthew Rodriguez up into the mix there, the 25 machine. So far, we have completed 15 laps, all under green, and we've had great racing throughout the entirety of this field, at the front, in the middle, at the back. We're almost 3 wide again back there with Carson Gum, Jordan Lopez, and I think that was Jonathan Zorlin up top. As up front, battle for the lead. Cole Baker to the bottom on Jacob Rose. He'll take the top position coming off turn number 4. Or will he? Matthew Rodriguez takes a peek to the bottom of the racetrack. Gets to the left rear quarter panel, and boy, what a drag race that was to the line. Rodriguez nearly pulling the side draft off and nearly got Baker at the line, but just a couple inches short. Now moves to the top position and firmly in control of that number 1 spot is Matthew Rodriguez. Meanwhile, battle on for second. Guess who? Chris Dodd to the inside on Jacob Rose. So the points leader now has fought his way up into the podium position. Last week was his first finish in the podium, second place at Long Beach. And right now, Tripentacchio Vernio following him. Vernio and Dodd have kind of worked together, working their way up here to second and third place. Vernio, of course, looking for a great run. He's 21st in points. These speedway races where you can gain so much track position and pick up spots so much easier than you can at a road course. These are the tracks that drivers struggling to the points really need to use to capitalize and get good finishes so they can make strides up through the point standings. Best battle on track right now is for the 4th spot. Jacob Rose has it. Cole Baker wants it. Jordan Lopez in this group as well. Currently scored in the 6th position. Carson Gum there in 7th. One of the drivers we haven't talked about yet tonight, they're just kind of riding, are the Penske boys, or not the Penske, the Ganassi boys, I should say. There is Jay Jefferson in the 10. He's all the way back in the 17th spot. Pichu London way back here is our Nathan Ormond, Austin LaPlante, and the pole sitter Alexander Rowe back in this group. These guys maybe thought there'd be a wreck at the front and they're riding at the back, to avoid it. But with no caution coming out at this point, they have lost the draft and now they're in a bit of a situation. Zach Flickinger also a long ways back here. As a matter of fact, he's coming off turn 2. The leader's just going into 3. We could end up having some drivers get lapped here tonight if this thing continues as it is in this long green flag run. Battle for second. Tripentacchio Vernio, tired of riding behind Chris Dodd now. He'll move to the 2nd position. Jacob Rose looking for 3rd. The reason that we're not going back and looking at the battle, though, is because Matthew Rodriguez is very fast approaching that Zach Flickinger machine. And the one thing we have not encountered yet this season with the Indycar mod is what the leader does when he approaches a slower machine on the tail end of the lead lap. So we're going to get a first glimpse of that here when and if Matthew Rodriguez does catch the 15 of Flickinger. Flickinger out of 4, Rodriguez in the middle of 3 and 4. So within the next 5 laps or so, I would think Matthew Rodriguez will be catching Zach Flickinger's machine. All 22 cars are still running, Flickinger the last of them. Still on the lead lap, but I think we can say that won't be for long. Vernio in 2nd. Gardner has fought his way now up into 3rd place. 4th place, Cole Baker, or make that Jacob Rose rather, with Baker back in 5th. And you can hear every now and then that engine up ahead of Zach Flickinger. They are fast approaching him as the battle now on for 2nd. Johnny Gardner to the inside of Tripentacchio Vernio. And maybe Gardner thinking, if I can get by the 63, I might be able to set up the 25, box him in behind the 15 of Flickinger, take the race lead. All depends on where Matthew Rodriguez catches Flickinger. You can see they're now in the same shot, and now the battle for 2nd heating up between 4 drivers. They're realizing that that slower machine could be a factor. Rodriguez to the bottom, and he will very easily make the pass on Flickinger, so no harm, no foul there for the slower machine. Well, he's not really even slower. The thing is, that 15 car is up to speed. The problem is, he lost the draft. All these drivers are in a tight draft, are able to produce more speed than you are when you're all by your lonesome. And so therefore, Flickinger a couple miles per hour slower due to the fact he did not have the benefit of draft. And that's why they were able to catch him so quickly, and why you saw Rodriguez able to put such a quick slingshot move on him to put him off the lead lap. Rodriguez, though, enjoying the view out in front, but he may not want to look in his rearview mirror because Johnny Gardner has now caught the slipstream off the back of the Snapple car. And Johnny Gardner, who's been out in front a couple of times here tonight, 2 times he's made the pass, have been on his teammate when Noah Kars was out in front. And now, trying to go out in front for the 3rd time tonight, trying to catch and pass that 25 of Rodriguez. Still hanging there in 3rd. Cole Baker 4th. Noah Kars 5th. Chris Dodd there in 6th. As most of the top 10 have been able to make their way now around the lap machine of Zach Flickinger. He is just now getting passed by drivers around 13th, 14th, 15th positions. And him now going off the lead lap, you got to wonder how soon those other drivers we saw in that little pack on the tail end lead lap, how soon they're going to get caught. You had Alexander Rowe, Austin LaPlante, and Nathan Ormond in that group. Coming out of turn 2 now is Rodriguez, and that pack is just now going into 3. So about 8, well, hang on. Into turn 1, and they're into turn 3. Okay, so yeah, maybe about a half a racetrack still separating the leader from 21st place. And I think the big reason why is that even though Ormond, Rowe, and LaPlante lost the pack, they all were able to stay together in a bit of a 3-car pack, which allows them to at least produce a little bit more speed than if they were all by their lonesome. Laps taken away here, though, and before we know it, we'll be at 10 laps to go. The top 2 have broken away, Rodriguez and Gardner. About 6/10 in hand over a battle that's looming for 3rd. Cole Baker on the back bumper of Tripe and Tachiovernio. Noah Kars right there in 5th, Chris Dodd in 6th, Matt Haas in 7th, with the rest of the top 10, Carson Gum, Jonathan Zorlin. And my mind just went blank on who the 5 car is. Jacob Rose, that's right. Cole Baker looking for what I think would be his 2nd podium finish of the season. I'm trying to remember. I think he finished podium, yeah, at Phoenix. He finished 2nd. So he's obviously very good at the speedway tracks, obviously. Trying to get by Vernio here. Vernio looking for his 1st podium finish of the season. Tripe and Tachiovernio, up to this point, his best finish so far this season is 11th place, and that was back at the season starter at St. Petersburg. So he is still yet looking for his 1st top 10 finish. The battle for the lead is on. Johnny Gardner has caught Matthew Rodriguez. The question is now, can he pass him? Gardner can get to the back bumper, but he kind of needs a little bit of drafting help to be able to make the move, have the momentum to get past. Trying to run a little bit lower than Matthew Rodriguez, but Rodriguez running the middle groove, getting the better exit off the corner. So what Matthew Rodriguez right now is basically doing is dictating the fastest way around the racetrack. Johnny Gardner having to go out of the comfort zone in order to try and make the move, but he may have been able to make it stick. He's to the left rear quarter panel, and he'll be alongside for the race lead going into turn number 1. Rodriguez gets that nice run off the corner, though, and as these two battle, that's now brought 3rd and 4th place, Vernio and Baker, into the picture here, potentially in what could be a battle for the race win. Top 4 have not gone to victory lane yet this season. 5th place Noah Kars, the highest running former winner this season. And right now as things stand, it would be Chris Dodd still leaving Texas with the points lead as he rides in that 7th position. The only other driver that really came in with a big contention for that points lead were Cole Baker and Noah Kars. They're in 4th and 5th, but they each came in 4 and 7 points back respectively. Chris Dodd wouldn't lose a whole lot of ground to them. Johnny Gardner going to try again, and this time he may have a little bit of help because Vernio is there. Vernio's going to drive to the inside, and that's going to give the drafting help necessary to move Johnny Gardner to the top position. Now, the last time Johnny Gardner was out in front leading the race was our last Speedway event at Phoenix, and he all but took himself out of the running of that race when he put a kind of payback block on Matt Haas, spun himself out, that being our last caution of the day, and the race ended under the yellow flag. Jacob Rose was very grateful for it, but Gardner kind of screwed himself out of a win. Now out in front, we're going to have to see what he can do. Matthew Rodriguez gets a nice run there out of turn 4, though. Slingshots to the bottom, trying to go for the race lead. Vernio is going to go low, and that's going to offer that little bit of a push bubble there on the bottom. Rodriguez will try and use it off 2. Can't quite do it this time. And Vernio may think about going 3 wide. Nope, not quite. I thought he might get a good run down the back straightaway, but instead, he will kind of theoretically push Matthew Rodriguez to the lead. And now he'll look for second off Johnny Gardner. Cole Baker right there in that 3rd position. And this is almost kind of what Cole Baker did back at Phoenix. Just kind of rode around in the 4th position. What happened? We had that wreck in the closing stages. He finished 2nd, so kind of taking a leaf out of his Phoenix playbook here as he's in that 4th position now. And we will have 9 laps to go when they hit the stripe. Rodriguez out in front. Battle is on for second. Vernio, Gardner, Baker trying to settle out who's going to be in that podium spot. Got a battle on currently for the 4th spot, I mean the 5th spot. Noah Kars has it. Matt Haas wants it. And you got Chris Dodd waiting in the wings there in 7th, waiting to see what's going to happen with this battle. Meanwhile, podium spots now, Vernio and Baker, as Gardner now drops back to 4th. Now the question is, with 8 laps to go, does Tripentacchio Vernio have enough time to catch back up to Matthew Rodriguez? Gardner trying to get by Baker for 3rd, can't quite do it. Baker hangs on off turn number 2. And Vernio just trying to stay in the tire track, stay in that slipstream with a 25 to try and catch back up. With Gardner determined to get to the inside of Cole Baker there for that 3rd position, but again, he's not got any drafting help to help him get there. He might be able to do something here, though. Can he get clear of Baker down the straightaway? No, he can't. He may have that inside advantage going into 3. He might be able to move to the 3rd spot. And not quite, not quite, not quite. Still not quite as Baker battles back again on the high side. And that's going to allow 5th place on back to start reeling them in. Matt Haas along with Noah Kars and Chris Dodd. Now that settles out. Gardner will take the 3rd position. Sorry for that little lag area there off turn 2. It's been doing that the last couple of laps. Right off that corner. I don't know why. Must be a lot of stuff, a lot of MIPS off turn 2. 5 laps to go, though, for Matthew Rodriguez. He's been out in front for a good portion of this race, but will he be out in front on the most important lap, the final one? Matt Rod coming into this race 16th in the point stands, had a poor showing last week at Long Beach, dropped him 6 spots, or make that 5 spots in the stands outside the top 15. But here tonight, he could get himself momentum back the way he wants it to be, heading in the right direction. Wait just a doggone minute. Did I see traffic up ahead? That is Austin LaPlante, along with Pichu London, Alexander Rowe, and Nathan Ormond. Oop. Got a good look at the pace car there. The heck? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. I apologize. But they are getting fast approached by Matthew Rodriguez. This could get very interesting in the closing stages. He is going to catch them. 3 laps to go, and lap traffic could be a factor. Johnny Gardner trying to get by Tripentacchio Vernio for second place, and now Matthew Rodriguez is going to have to deal with traffic while he tries to defend this lead. Best friend for him is that lap ticker. 2 laps to go here at Texas. He'll get to the inside of LaPlante, or at least try to. Completes the pass there. Gardner, meanwhile, is going to try and get by for second. He succeeds. He'll move to second place. Now he has to deal with LaPlante. Now Matthew Rodriguez is going to have to deal with Nathan Ormond in the 1, which is a teammate to Johnny Gardner. So will Ormond play defense? 1 more lap to go. Gardner to the inside of LaPlante. Matt Rod to the inside of Ormond. This could get very interesting in the closing stages. Vernio now all over the back bumper of Gardner for second. He'll get to the inside. Maybe no. Not quite. Gardner now to the inside of Ormond. But Matthew Rodriguez got London up ahead, but he won't have to deal with him. Matthew Rodriguez, despite the traffic's going to hang on. He'll pick up the win, his first of the season here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. And had we had 1 more lap on the ticker, I think Johnny Gardner could very well have given Matthew Rodriguez a run for his money. He was closing onto the back bumper of that Snapple car on the front straightaway coming to the checkered flag. But Matthew Rodriguez with the win, and how about that podium? That is, right there, a well-needed podium for those three drivers who came into this race struggling in the points. Rodriguez 16th, Gardner 22nd, Vernio 21st coming into this race. As far as the point standings are concerned, well-needed runs for all 3 of those cars here this evening. And Matthew Rodriguez becomes the 4th different race winner here this season, picking up the win here tonight at Texas. Matt Haas will bring it home in 4th. Cole Baker, like I said, never fell outside the top 5 this entire night. He had a strong car, just really wasn't able to make a lot of moves with it. He gets 5th. Noah Carr's in 6th. Chris Dodd in 7th. The points leader Zorlin brings it home in 8th. Eli Bright in 9th. And Jordan Lopez completes your top 10. And we talked about those 5 drivers that came into this race really close in the points. Well, 6 if you include Noah Carr's. Chris Dodd, Eli Bright, Cole Baker, Noah Carr's all finishing up inside the top 10. Jacob Rose just outside the top 10 there in 11th, the guy who came in tied for second in points. Jay Jefferson gets 12th, Jake Rogers in 13th, Carson Gum 14th, Charles Jackson 15th. The rest of the cars to finish on the lead lap are Kev Shearer in 17th, 18th place for Alexander Rowe, and Pichu London in 19th. He's going to drop in the points a bit there. He came in second in the stands. Not a good run for the 83. And 3 cars finished off the lead lap. Nathan Ormond in 20th. Things have really gone south for Austin LaPlante since his second place finish at the season opener at St. Petersburg. He gets 21st, and Zach Flickinger in 22nd. All 22 cars finished the race, but only 19 of them on the lead lap. But what a crazy race it was here tonight, and Matthew Rodriguez spent most of the race out in front and brought it to the checkered flag for the victory. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's race, though, from Texas. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to Part of the Crew today. These are your full finishing results, and here are your point standings heading into next week as we get ready for our 3rd road course stop of the season. We're going to Road America, so that should be a very interesting race. Another track where track position is key, and we may end up seeing our 5th different race winner of the season. We'll have to wait and find out, but we'll see you guys next time at Road America. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race. You've been watching a production of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.